Wow, the Oriental Pearl Tower looks amazing with this reflex lens. The donut effect is so pretty. Have you noticed the special parts of these portraiture shots? The cute donut bokeh effect are produced by the Kase reflex lens. This is a 200mm telephoto lens with f5.6 aperture and manual focus. My friend told me manual lens is very hard to operate, especially in portrait photography at night, but adventure is the key of photography, so I insisted to have a try. In today's session, I brought a reflex lens with me. The special feature of this lens is that there is a reflex glass in the middle, which produces a dreamy donut bokeh effect. When we shoot with this lens, we will need to find some background with blurred light spots. For example, with this background, our model is ready over there. To maximize the 200mm feature, she is at around 3 meters away from me. A telephoto lens can create distance between the background and object. Even with a f5.6 aperture, you can still create a nice background blur. Let's change the scene. The effects might be more obvious. For example, in the crowded scene at the Bund, telephoto lens is the perfect gear. As you can see here, there are so many people around. But we're actually only going to get a little bit of it through the telephoto lens. We can also bring in a lit background when shooting. In this way, you're gonna have a beautiful donut bokeh effect. And I have one more thing to add. It is about lighting. This Kase reflex lens has a fixed f5.6 aperture. With a small aperture, it's bound to rely heavily on more lighting. I was using a 60-watt light, turning it up to 90% brightness, meanwhile setting the ISO higher. In this way, we can ensure a better image quality. In addition, our model prepared 2 hair colors. They all look good. I'm a little undecisive. Comment below on which one you all prefer. Up to this point, you might be getting bored of the telephoto close-up shots. For the rest of this session, we can add into some background context. For example, I noticed the Oriental Pearl Tower is long way back while shooting on these steps. I guided my model to sit on the steps here. With the 200mm telephoto lens, we can narrow down the scene to focus on the subject and the iconic background even in a messy and crowded environment. It enhances the focus of our model and the constructions, so this is one of the great features a 200mm reflex lens has. What a great street photography tool. I further utilized the bokeh effect feature of this reflex lens. Take a look at the donut bokeh effect from the Oriental Pearl Tower. For environmental portraits, we can have our model stand further away. Now, she's around 40 meters away. When shooting, we should always pay attention to the environment. Find a background that stretches out. For example, I observed a long street behind here. And there's a lot of car lights in a 40-meter distance. We will be able to bring in part of the streets in the back. The telephoto lens helps to narrow down the background with donut bokeh effect. Right now I am having my model stand besides the green mailbox, and I will be standing over here where I can include the vintage constructions in the back. It is common that telephoto lens produces flatter images, so if you only have one telephoto lens, I would recommend adding in more environmental elements. It might be different than how you normally shoot, but it will definitely add layers to your photographs. Telephoto lens is not only for typical portraits, it can also be used for environmental portraits. Till here, I completed the challenges of shooting with a telephoto lens. It is definitely challenging to shoot with a manual telephoto lens. It is also my first time shooting with a reflex lens at nighttime. The lens is shaky, so I had to zoom in to adjust the focus manually during most of the shooting time. I would have to hold my breath to keep it steady. Plus with the f5.6 aperture, I would have to use a higher ISO. It is definitely challenging, but I insisted in trying and the results looked good.